welcome back. Thank you for joining me tonight. This is going to be a general reading for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the period of May the 1st to the 15th, 2021. Just lighting a bit of sage here. I've tried to do this reading about 3 times now, and every time I do it, the cards just go flying everywhere, and so the messages are not clear for Aquarius tonight. So 4th time is a charm. Let's see if we can get some clarity for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the first half of May. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now, these are very similar to the cards that came out the first time, and the second time, and the third time. Okay, so Aquarius, I'm confirmed now. I can see that you're going through a situation that's causing you to reevaluate your identity. You've realized some truths about a situation, and you're being asked to make sure that you're going to use this sort of newfound sense of identity, but to do something, right, in the physical world, but you're almost feeling challenged to do that because of letting go of the old identity, right? Letting go of the old identity is challenging you to let the new identity come through. Now, what has happened here, okay, I can see that a commitment that shifted. There was a commitment, a relationship that you're thinking about, maybe a marriage that ended, Aquarius, and you can't stop thinking about it. And potentially this relationship or marriage or just significant partnership ending is the thing causing you to shift in your identity. Maybe I can see that, in the past, there was a situation where you felt like the conflict was beginning. Yeah, like the conflict started in the past and you knew it. And in the future, it's like, wow, it's like, you're really worried about the wrong things right now, Aquarius. You're concerned with how the rest of the world is going to see you instead of worrying about tapping into who you're becoming. It doesn't matter how the rest of the world sees you. Yeah, like right now on the inside, you are searching for some sort of external validation or some sort of like team. You're searching for validation from people you can trust. Okay? You want emotional validation to sort of help you go forward, all right? And you're looking for that. You're looking for that kind of connection here because I think that you think, it looks here, like in this timeline for the present, it seems that at the end of the day, you're really just concerned with how other people are going to see this. Instead of trying to figure out who you are in the now, right? You're worrying too much about what other people think about you. And it could be because this relationship ended and left you wondering things about yourself. Now, the outer manifestation of you is that, the way the mask, if you will, the mask you're wearing right now shows that you don't feel bad about anything. Right? You're sort of almost pretending that you don't feel fear or guilt or anxiety. You're not expressing those things. You feel them, but the mask you're wearing that the rest of the world feels is that you're just fine. And that you're not feeling all of these things you're feeling, and that you're not feeling guilty and afraid. I'm guessing that this relationship that's on your mind, Aquarius, it's something that maybe you have regrets about. You might have regrets about this ending. Maybe something happened that you feel guilty about. But, feeling guilty about stuff, it's not helpful. And you're not using your intuition in the future the way you need to be. You're really just focusing on physical work. That's where you feel the most sort of ability to understand truth, is when it's in the physical, when you're using talent, when you have effort exerted, right? That makes sense to you. And you're not really afraid of hard work, but you're also, you're worried about you have a fear about putting efforts into things and have them not pan out. But at the same time, you're also like, I really want to put the work in, but with the right person, or at the right time, with the right person in the right place, I'll put in the work, right? But it's interesting. It's interesting because the cards that are suggesting the relationship are all, that's what's on your mind. That's what you're worrying about. You're wondering about how to be successful in a committed physical situation. You want to be permanently secure with someone, and you're not finding that. You're finding that every time you're in this situation, you're not able to get what you want out of it. And you're, in your mind, it's because you haven't met the right person. You keep saying, I haven't met the right person, but man, I can't stop thinking about this one. Maybe not just one, maybe a few relationships that ended in the same way. And you're convinced on like, as far as you're concerned, it's been because they're not the right people. And the rest of the world sees you that way. They're like, no, this person doesn't feel bad or guilty or anxious or anything. They're just, but it's a mask. It's just how you feel outwardly. On the inside, you're lonely. You're wanting connection, and you're wanting emotional connection. Do you realize something here? This is very, very interesting, Aquarius. The only card in your whole spread that is emotion based, which is Cups, is the Three of Cups, and it's in the position of how you feel on the inside. So that tells me that this is a mask. This, I don't feel guilty, I'm not afraid, I'm not anxious, I'm not worried, I feel fine, I'm cool as a cucumber. No, that's a mask. On the inside, you're really soul searching for people, and I'm thinking a significant other that completes you in a way that you think you need completing. The problem is you're just worrying way too much about what people think. You're really worried about the way the external world views you. Well, I'm telling you right now, the external world views you as someone who is not afraid, someone who doesn't feel guilty, and someone who's not afraid. But it's a mask. You do have feelings of guilt. You have feelings of fear, anxiety, and a feeling of being trapped, but you're not expressing it outwardly. You're holding it in. And on the inside, you're really focusing on these relationships, these deep committed relationships that have not succeeded. And you keep thinking it's because I haven't met the right person. It's because I haven't met the right person. And then at the end of it, you're like, but what do other people think about me when they see that? Maybe that you're going through relationships, maybe lots of committed relationships. And the thing that you're worried about is what people think, when really you should be asking yourself, why does this keep happening? And the only answer you're coming up with here is that, I haven't met the right person. But on some level, you know that it's also because you haven't put the work in. And you've got to acknowledge that, okay, Aquarius? You've got to acknowledge that it's not just the right person, it's also you got to put the work in. And so for the final outcome, you have the Sun in reverse, which isn't, it's not too much different than the Sun upright. It's just a little less intense. It's almost like you don't see what's right in front of you. Like the sun is shining, there's all of these possibilities, and you don't see it. And I think you don't see it because you're focusing too much on what other people are thinking instead of what you're thinking. Yeah, you need to go the distance. These are the oracle cards you got that are very related here. You got to go the distance. So don't be afraid of a little hard work here, Aquarius. Roll up those sleeves and put in an effort, right? Like if that was the problem in some of these relationships ending, it might not just have been because you didn't find the right person. This card suggests that potentially you're afraid to put in the work when the work is necessary, okay? And truth be told, you know, and this really goes with this card true, because the 8 is when we know the truth. So here's when you see the truth about how much work and effort and enthusiasm and talent and skill and dedication that you need to get stuff moving. So yeah, truth be told, you got to know that that's why this didn't work out. It's not just because you haven't found the right person. You know, it's also because maybe you didn't put in the effort, because the sun here is in reverse. You sometimes have a hard time seeing how good you have it, Aquarius. You have a hard time seeing how good you have it sometimes. Like, truth be told, why don't you need to look around and let this mental shift that wants to happen, let it happen. You know, regain yourself, your sense of self-confidence, but by adding the intuition. Why leave it out? You know, don't worry so much about what people think of you. You're never going to know what people are thinking of you, really, Aquarius. But, and really, other people's opinions of you are none of your business. It's none of our business what people think of us. So you really are being asked to breathe. You got an extra card here, and you got not for you. So whatever this was that left in the 10 of Pentacles reversed, it wasn't for you. So stop thinking that it was because of something that you could have done differently, or it wasn't the right person. It just wasn't for you. That's it, right? It just wasn't the relationship for you. It wasn't the time. It wasn't the person. It wasn't anything like that. It just wasn't it wasn't for you. Not for the long term. Maybe you thought it would be for the long term and it wasn't. I can see that, you know, it did feel like a very committed relationship, and it didn't go the distance. And so what I can see here for you, Aquarius, is that you almost just need to approach things with fresh eyes. You know, you need to look at things and sort of regain that sense of clarity without really worrying about what the outside world thinks about what you're doing, you know. And then, you know, once you see things as being more plentiful and abundant and hopeful, hopefully you'll be able to turn the sun card upright so that you can really feel that confidence that is the challenge. You know, your confidence is almost like you could use a boost of confidence, but also a boost of intuition. The moon card in reverse suggests that the uncertain times in the future, you know, you're going to have to navigate them with an element of intuition. You know, you're going to transform in the future. You are changing. Your identity is shifting, and it's uncertain right now, right? Very interesting reading for you, Aquarius. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. If this has resonated for you and you would like a personal reading, my email's in the description below. And thank you for joining me. And hopefully we'll see you again soon for some more readings. Okay, take care.